Supreme Court today, refusing to grant bail to Umar Khalid and Sharjeel Imam in the case linked to 2020 Delhi riots conspiracy. The top court made it clear that at this stage, concerns of national security and public order take precedence over arguments of prolonged detention before trial. At the same time, the court granted bail to the other 5 accused in the case. And as far as the developments are concerned, this verdict comes after the Supreme Court had earlier reserved its decision back on the 10th of December 2025, following the challenges in the September ruling of the Delhi High Court that had denied relief to the accused. Now, during the hearings, Delhi police had strongly opposed the bail, arguing that violence in the northeast part of Delhi was not a spontaneous outbreak, but outcome of a carefully planned conspiracy. The police told the court that the alleged plot was aimed at disturbing public order and harming the country's sovereignty, that the accused were part of a shared plan, making them collectively responsible. Let's first take you through, as far as when it comes to the observations of the court are concerned. Let's in the meantime also introduce Mr. Rajat Nair. He's a senior central government advocate and special public prosecutor in the Delhi riots matter. Thank you very much, Mr. Nair, for taking out your time and speaking to us. As far as these developments are concerned, the entire, case that has been built by the Delhi police so far in the court, say, building on the arguments that the alleged coordinated efforts of the accused were to change the regime, and prima facie, these very arguments seems to have been accepted by the court today.
We have to read the judgment first, because this was our argument. This was the argument of learned ASG, that the facts which have emerged show a very striking similarity with what in today's world a new name has come, a regime change operation. So this was an argument which was raised by the learned ASG. We have to see the judgment whether how the court has dealt with this matter.
But on the refusal of granting bail, Mr. Nair, one of the court observations that also came in, that both of the accused in the case, be it Umar Khalid and Sharjeel Imam, need to be quantitatively looked on a different footing. What does it imply as far as how their case becomes different to the other accused in the case today who have been granted bail?
See, I'll clarify the issue. The Honorable Supreme Court has categorized the accused in 2 different categories. One is the category of the main kingpin, the people who have actually created this conspiracy and has galvanized it. The second category is of the people who have facilitated it. So there were main actors and there were side actors. Side actors, side fiddles have been granted bail. The main actors who have actually conspired everything, they have been denied bail on the ground of severity of the offense, the gravity of the offense, and their conduct.
So when we speak of this larger conspiracy, that something has been accepted prima facie, what do you believe that the proof of the conspiracy observation is the point that has been accepted by the court, saying that it involves India's security and unity?
So today it indicates our point that yes, the accusation against these accused are prima facie true. These are not for the purpose of determining the guilt or conviction, but it is only for the purpose of bail. The Honorable Supreme Court has clarified this, that the observation are only for the purpose of grant of bail. The main matter would come before the learned trial court, and we will substantiate our arguments before the trial court that these arguments, these evidences against the accused are enough to convict them.
What about the other observation that was made by the court, sir, when it comes to prolonged delay in the trial that has been, as far as taken place in this particular case, where the certain lobby, sir, was vouching that as far as for these accused in the case is concerned, bail should rather have been the norm?
See, as the arguments unfolded, the petitioner did not argue on merits of the matter. They only argued on the ground of delay. They said that they are entitled bail solely on the ground of delay because trial is not likely to conclude in near future. Those arguments were rebutted by the learned ASG, and it was our contention that ground of delay cannot be a sole ground on the basis of which bail can be granted to an accused. Those arguments have been accepted by the Honorable Supreme Court. In fact, this is a very landmark judgment, because it will now decide how the other trials in UAPA matters will go. The Honorable Supreme Court has very clearly said that delay is not a trump card. On the ground of delay, no accused is entitled to bail. Specifically in UAPA matters, what is to be seen is the severity of the offense. What is to be seen is the evidence against individual accused and the role played by him. So on the basis of examination of the evidences available against individual accused, the question of bail would be decided.
So how do you see, in the next 1 year, as far as the case now proceeding, And also when it comes to a certain lobby, the sympathy lobby that has been saying that, they should have been given on a same footing as far as the entire case is now being seen, and bail should have also been granted. How, as far as in these two individual cases concerned, how do you see the case developing in the next year?
Ultimately, the final verdict is of the Honorable Supreme Court. The Honorable Supreme Court, after considering, examining in depth the facts and the evidences available against the accused, have granted bail to some, have denied bail to some. What is the best part is that prosecution always wanted the trial to be concluded in a very, very time-bound manner. That was our first contention, that the trial has to be concluded. The accused are creating systematic delays in conclusion of the trial. That argument has been accepted by the Honorable Supreme Court, and Honorable Supreme Court has directed the learned trial court to lay down a roadmap so that all the protected witnesses can be examined as expeditiously as possible. The prosecution for past 2 years was ready to conclude its argument on charge.
That has happened on part of the accused side as far as holding of the trial is concerned, and speedy trial in the matter is something that has now been directed on part of the Supreme Court today as well.
So there is a judgment of the Honorable High Court which was not challenged in the Supreme Court.
Yes.
In that judgment, the Honorable High Court has very clearly examined all the proceedings happening before the
And individual case is something that has been examined in this lengthy verdict that we are looking at, has been, as you've been calling it, as a landmark one that has been announced by the Supreme Court today. Mr. Nair, appreciate you joining us here on the broadcast and sparing your time with us for a better understanding on this case.
Thank you very much.